And we're live. What's up, guys? Matthew Bellman, Ryan Kostrowski here. This is the DFS 5-pack. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button, man. Spread us around YouTube. We are bored. It's everybody else right there. A few things I wanted to say before we start breaking down the AL East. One, like pretty much everything that we've seen since the invention of social media, there is a lot of bad information going around. Please just trust smarter people about this, okay? Not somebody you went to high school with. There's that. If you're as bored as we are and you have any video requests, please make them. We are more than happy to talk about any sports-related subject or anything about life in general. If you got it, toss it here. Like y'all, we got free time up the wazoo right now, so hit us up with anything you're interested in. For those people who have been, giving us a couple of tips to help us get through this time with no job, much love, appreciated. Always participating. To have your income taken away from you sucks, but as we've talked about before, like, we are far from alone right here, man. This is going to be a weird time within the history of the world.
We definitely appreciate the people that have reached out, sent us a little bit, whatever it might be. I know a lot of people are hurting right now. Definitely agree with you. A lot of bad information out there, and we are also definitely bored. At least I got you pushing me to pump out videos on who knows what. I know you're making your fitness stuff, so I know you're trying to stay busy. I'm definitely trying to stay very active, going for walks, biking, etc. I think it's a really good time. I don't want to be like cooped up because I'll go crazy.
Yeah, I've been trying to walk once or twice a day just to, like, that's why I haven't been walking 4 or 5 miles, because I'm trying to walk 1 to 2 miles like 3 times a day because I'm so freaking bored. And I know you guys are with me on this one.
100%.
So anything you can do to get out, to get the blood flowing. And if you're still employed, like, I'm jealous. Like, I've been told I'm like romanticizing telemarketing jobs I had in high school. Like, oh, that sounds so good right now. I would love to make some cold calls and try to get people to do surveys.
Does Wisconsin have like a stay-at-home order? I can't remember.
Dude, now I think it starts today, actually.
Okay, so did Ohio's. It's like officially started at like midnight last night.
All right, man. So the goal of this video was we're going to do each division within baseball and kind of break down how we feel it's going to finish. Obviously, a lot can change with the coronavirus pandemic going on, when the season starts, who's getting healthy and things like that. But let's start with the American League East, and I'm going to kick it off here, Bellman, because I'm going to take a really, really hot take right here, and I want to start at the bottom and say that I fully expect the Baltimore Orioles to do the same thing that they did last year and be dead last.
I mean, yeah, 100% agreed. They're still one of the worst teams in baseball.
No, they're the worst team in baseball.
They are. It seems like they don't even have like the pieces that you really, are excited about either. So long rebuild going on in Baltimore.
Oh my God, look at this fucking roster.
I mean,
this is terrible.
Jose Iglesias is like the perfect addition for this team, though. I mean, he cannot. Wow. Oh, man.
I mean, their best player, Trey Mancini, is literally dealing with, what would you say it was again? He had a tumor removed?
Yep.
I mean, get ready soon, buddy, or get healthy. But he's like the only above average player in this lineup, and he's not even healthy.
Yeah. I mean, interested to see if like Austin Hayes can have another good year. I know at times he was really good last year. Santander, those guys showed some upside. So I don't want to like write them off for dead. They're not making the playoffs or nothing like that. Maybe they can improve though. That's all I'll say, because I guess, Santander and Hayes, they don't really have any pitching. I mean, they're awful.
And I do want to say I was a bit aggressive on them being the worst team in baseball. I don't want to sit up here and pretend like I'm not giving credit to the Detroit Tigers, who might also be the other worst team.
Or the Royals. I could see Baltimore being better than both those teams, especially now because I think the AL East is a little weaker, just in the sense that
Boston's not good.
Boston was weak last year. So, I mean, I think Boston has a similar year as they did last year.
Okay, so let's work our way up then. And I think we both clearly agree that I expect Baltimore to be 10 games into the cellar, though. Like, I mean, again, I don't think that there's any real upside on this team. Their pitching staff is atrocious. Their bullpen is bad. Their everyday lineup is trash. They're going to be awful. Even if they are better, it's hard not to be better off of 54 and 108.
Yeah, they're bad.
All right, so who do you think would be your fourth place team? Because I'll be honest, to me, it's the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, me too. I actually like what the Blue Jays, like, I'm buying what they're selling right now.
All right,
And
we'll move our way up. Let's talk about the Red Sox real
well,
quickly, and then we'll kind of move up.
I'm kind of
Okay,
like tying it
my
together.
bad.
So the thing with the Blue Jays, I'm not going to be surprised if they finish fourth either, and the Red Sox finish third. The Red Sox, I think, might be getting a little bit underrated right now. I know they lost Betts, but they added, Verdugo. They don't have Sale, but Sale was not good for a lot last year and was hurt. I like what the Blue Jays are selling, but I'm not going to just lock them into third. I think it's a nice battle with Boston, and if Boston ended up fighting for a wild card spot, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would be. Their pitching staff is trash.
I mean, it has been trash. So it was last year, and they were like still relevant.
There's no upside. You know what I mean? Like Chris Sale wasn't as good last year as he has been, but you know that he's got borderline Cy Young type of stuff, and he could definitely turn it around. Now, when I'm a bigger Erod fan than you are, but when he's your clear-cut number one, that's a weak pitching staff with a not very good bullpen. And without Betts, this offense is probably only mediocre, maybe a little bit better than mediocre.
I was going to say still very good.
I guess, okay, you brought up Benintendi the other day. If Benintendi has a bounce back year and plays better, then I'll start to give you good. I don't know about very good.
Well, they got some, Devers, Bogarts, and JD Martinez is a real nice middle of your order.
Fair enough.
They're not, again, they're not great, maybe very good as, maybe it's somewhere in the middle like it always is between, what we said. I'm with you. I think that their pitching staff is going to be their downfall because it is not good.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's better than Baltimore, but who isn't?
Yeah. It's better on name than Baltimore. These guys do have I will say there's a lot of volatility in all these guys. We've seen Eovaldi pitch really well in the past couple of years. We've also seen him be awful. Same thing with Martin Perez. Colin McHugh is more mad than anything. Listen, I expect Toronto to surpass them this year, but I don't think it's automatic.
Okay. You're right. Bogarts and JD and Devers is still a very solid three-man combination within the middle of the lineup. And if Benintendi has a bounce-back season, and we see, your boy Verdugo, who you're very high on, kind of takes the next step, they could be a pretty potent offense. And Mitch Moreland's not terrible.
I will say, though, you're right. The difference between them and the Blue Jays, though, is the Blue Jays, could fight for a playoff spot. The Red Sox, they're not going to do that with their pitching staff. I agree with you. At best, it seems like the White Sox could be, relevant for a while for a wild card. The Blue Jays, if they play up to their talent, could be right there with the Rays and Yankees, in my opinion. They got a lot of talent on that team.
Okay, so now that we've kind of knocked out fifth place and fourth place, and we're kind of hinted on the Toronto Blue Jays a little bit, let's shimmy to the top. Can I correctly assume that you plan on the New York Yankees winning this division?
I do, but I also, like what Tampa's doing also a lot. I don't like that they got rid of Pham, but they got a really good team. But it's hard not to have the Yankees projected first.
Okay. I want to talk about what we agree on and then get into second and third right there. Because I am with you in the sense that I do think the New York Yankees are the best team. It's a solid pitching staff, right? Garrett Cole is obviously elite. James Paxton, when healthy, is clearly a very good number two. And Tanaka is no scrub. Happ has his moments. I like Jordan Montgomery. They did lose, Betances, which they could afford to because of how good their bullpen is, but that's still a loss.
Yeah, he's coming back from. I don't think he's going to be healthy for the first half of the year.
Okay, so it's still a very good pitching staff, and as far as offense goes, though, they're going to be good, but I think greatness comes from. Well, I just don't think we know what to expect out of Aaron Judge and Stanton, as far as. These are two guys who missed a lot of time last year, especially Stanton. Neither one of them appears to be healthy right now. But that's kind of what I mentioned in the beginning. When does the season start? And who are these guys when the season starts?
I'm also not going to be shocked if the Yankees take a step back this year. If Cole
right, because they were so good last year.
They were so good despite all the injuries. Cole potentially taking a step back.
Severino is clearly out for the year now, so he's not even a thing.
Yeah, and he really helps their pitching staff, obviously. He was their ace before they got Cole.
Can you imagine getting into a playoff series, though, with the New York Yankees? If we had a fully healthy Garrett Cole, Severino, and Paxton all pitching at their A game, man, that would be brutal to go up against that offense.
No doubt about that. with a healthy staff, they're favorites to win the World Series, but it's not. Their lineup has question marks. Also, like LeMahieu had a career year last year. Is that gonna happen again?
Who is Luke Voigt and Gary Sanchez, right?
Exactly.
So
So yeah, there's like more question marks on this team than you would expect.
okay, because I'm with you. Again, if Judge and Stanton are healthy and whenever the season starts, these two dudes are good to go and they play up to what they're capable of doing, all of a sudden this becomes a great offense again. Because even though I think LeMahieu easily takes a step back, I like DJ LeMahieu. I love him in this ballpark. You know what I mean? I think he plays out perfectly right there. Torres is a
Yeah,
nice young player.
he's a stud.
Yeah. And again, guys like um, Urshela had career year last year. You know, he's a young man, I believe 27. Yeah, 27 years old. Is he what he was last year? Did he develop into something new, or was that a flash in the pan?
And they still got like Andahar.
Yeah, who's another good young player.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. If I had to, place a bet on this one, I would put the New York, Yankees, the Bronx Bombers up at the top of this division. If I was a betting man, which I am, that's what I would bet on. But I don't think it's as lock as some people think.
No, me neither. I think both the teams behind them like are creeping.
Okay, so if am I correct in assuming that if you had to make a bet for you, it would be Yankees, Rays, Jays, Red Sox, Orioles? If you had said to place one bet to project the way the division finishes.
I don't have a great feel on the Yankees, but it's hard not to have them first. Like the contrarian part of me wants to put them third behind the Rays and the Jays.
But there's no contrarian GPP payout here. It's one bet to save your dog's life.
Yeah, the Yankees got to be first.
Okay.
And then I'll put the Rays and the Jays because the Jays do have a new pitching staff like completely, but I want to see that first. I know what the Rays have.
Okay, and I'm with you. I like the idea of the Blue Jays being like a hot sleeper team this year. But if it came down to it and I could place one bet and I had to rank the way these teams finish, and it's for my dog's life or kid's life or whatever, or for lifetime supply of Chipotle burritos, I'm also going to go Yankees, Devil Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Baltimore Orioles. Because quite frankly, the top three pitchers for the Tampa Bay Rays, if they pitch up to what they can, that could be the top three combo right there.
Yeah, then you're talking about like if then they'll surpass the Yankees. Their lineup is also really good. Like this team is good.
Well, we'll call them good. Really good might be a little bit over the top.
I think their whole team is really good. Their lineup is good.
Good, but they don't have one legitimate there is no Francisco Lindor in this lineup. I like Austin Meadows, but they don't have. It's a bunch of very solid players, I guess.
They don't have any holes either, and I like what they did in terms of adding Jose Martinez as a guy who's going to split with Choi. That's a perfect platoon situation. Meadows, you talked about. I like them getting Renfroe. They got a really good defense. They do the little things.
Yes, they do. And I think we've both raved about the Tampa Bay Rays, the way that they run their franchise for a long time now. No money, no fans in attendance, arguably the worst ballpark in baseball. You're not going to get any good free agents that want to come there, but they find a way to be competitive most years. Ever since the shift in culture of about 10, 15 years ago, this has been a very competitive franchise, despite almost everything working against them. And I think you have to give credit right there.
No doubt about that. And you're right. They don't have any stud. Meadows is their best hitter, and he's not he's definitely not a top 10 guy for sure. So yeah, you're right about that. But they're solid all the way around. I trust what they do. I like what I obviously buy what they're selling, and if their pitching staff can stay healthy, I think their lineup is good enough.
And last year, Austin Meadows, 14th in the MVP voting. He was an all-star. This guy hit 33 home runs, batted .291, OPS and .922, stole a couple of bases in there as well. He was a very good player. In the beginning portion of the year, if you guys remember how good he was pacing out better than Trout for, I want to say, about damn near 50 games.
Yeah, he was he had that, and then he fell real flat. But he had, yes, you were 100% right about that.
Brandon Lowe can play. Yandy Diaz can play. Kevin Kiermaier is really up and down with the bat, but he's one of the best defensive center fielders. Hunter Renfroe, not a great hitter, but an excellent power hitter. And what do you know about Yamamoto? How to pronounce his last name?
Tsutsugo, I don't know, but I mean, I think like a lot of these guys, it's unknown. Kind of like the guy that signed with the Reds. Clearly they like him. They like the fit here. I suspect that a lot of these guys are going to move around. You'll see Martinez DH. Him play the field.
And Jose Martinez can hit, guys. He never had
Yeah,
a spot in St. Louis, but this guy is a top 50 hitter, I would say.
easily, man.
Line.
He cannot play the field, but he's a great hitter, especially against lefties. Like he's a good hitter against righties and a great hitter against lefties.
Yeah, he's actually been almost as good against righties the last couple of years. He really kind of upped that portion of his game because I think like a year or two ago, he couldn't hit righties to save his life. It was all lefty platoons.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten better. So yeah, I like the dimension that he adds to their team for sure.
And they got some players on this team who could exceed expectations. Like Joey Wendell took a big step back last year. Manuel Margot, if you go back to his rookie year, it looked like he might be an up-and-coming solid player. Obviously, G-Man Choi has been real up or down, but there are some guys with the right organization like this that could definitely surprise you for what they accomplished throughout the season. And no organization gives you a better chance to accomplish those things than the Tampa Bay Rays, in my opinion. Or right
They're
up there.
one of those teams like we talked about, like the Brewers are doing, loading up on all those first basemen. And, well, hopefully one of them works out. The Rays have done that and continue to do that, and I like the culture they have going there. So right now, they got to be right up there with the Yankees, and potentially if we were doing like a wild card, right there.
Hell yeah, man! That pitching staff. Charlie Morton remains one of the most underrated players in baseball. Blake Snell has the potential to be the best pitcher in baseball every single year. Obviously, last year did not go the way that he expected coming off of his Cy Young season, but he's still a very young man. And then I'm already sleeping on the number. Oh, Glasnow, who was phenomenal at points last year.
Yeah, he was.
So, okay. All right, we see this one eye to eye, and then we get down to third. And I'm with you. I think we see this one eye to eye again. I think the Toronto Blue Jays are the team that the Orioles are so bad, I can't picture this team placing fifth. But I'm not surprised at any other spot they are in the division. And I'm not surprised. I will call this as like an extreme dark horse, but this team has all the young makings of like the team that shocks the world this year.
They do, but I still feel like they need more, though. Like after looking at this on here, I like what they've done, but they still need more. Like their pitching staff is better than it was.
Right.
But it's still not great.
It's not. It's all guys who are underrated, though. I know you're not a big Tanner Rourke guy, but he is a solid number 3 pitcher, and on his good days, pitches like a number 2.
Yes, but the other problem I have with all these guys, like going to Toronto, is that the AL East is not a pitcher's division, and all these guys are coming from Rio with the Dodgers. Rourke has mostly been an NL pitcher. He pitched Oakland a little bit last year. Chase Anderson, same with Milwaukee. I mean, I know it's not a great pitcher's park, but it's still, the NL is always better than the AL. Now they're going to a spot where they have to face, go to Fenway, go to Yankee Stadium. I'm worried about, this team is just one of the most volatile teams in the entire league, in my opinion.
Agreed. If they ended the year at 65 and 97 or 95 and I might not be able to do math today, 67, I wouldn't be surprised by either. They also have guys like Travis Shaw. Who's Travis Shaw? Is he the absolute black hole that we saw last year, or is he the guy with 2 consecutive 30 home run seasons in the prior 2 years? They got the Biggio, Guerrero, Bichette, the trio of young emerging superstars, all with great pedigree. What do these guys do this year? Does Vlad take that next step to being a superstar, or does he struggle a lot? I'm sure he'll have some ups and downs, but what's the overall projection? Bo Bichette looked great at times last year, but are you surprised if he has a little bit of a sophomore slump? No, of course not.
No, a guy that I'm excited to see who was hurt a lot last year was Gurriel Jr., who showed signs. He was really good. But I will say, it's not like this lineup. It's good and it's got upside, but you're right. Like, how good is Fisher? How good is Teoscar Hernandez? Is he going to take the next step? Grichuk has had a lot of ups and downs. a lot of question marks here, but a lot of upside.
Exactly. I think like this is definitely your type of like if you like to place bets.
Yes.
This is the team that you like to bet on to if you could get some good odds to massively overachieve because it's a swing for the fences type of a pick with a lot of young emerging superstar talent. Your common sense approach would be that they're still a year or two away, but that doesn't mean that they won't all gel together, and get the best out of one another. That's baseball. That's the difference between baseball and basketball. This would never work in basketball because you're going to get established veterans like Steph Curry and LeBron James coming into your house, and they're just going to be too much for you. In baseball, sometimes teams gel a year early, and they get the best out of one another. They start getting clutch hits, and you shock the world. This has the shock the world type of roster, but it also could be a massive letdown. Definitely an upside type of bet.
100% agreed with all your points. But if I had to project them right now, I'd project them third. But part of me does think that Boston is like right there. I actually think Boston's lineup is better.
Oh, it's more established, questions.
Okay.
I mean, JD Martinez is the most established hitter in these two lineups, and it's not even close.
No. And then, this team, like you said, has a lot of pedigree. But, I'm not sure I would take any of these guys over Bogarts right now.
No. If you're just asking me to bet on who has a better year offensively, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or Xander Bogaerts, I'll bet on Bogaerts. But if you told me I had to bet on somebody to win the MVP and just emerge as like a flat-out stud, it'd be Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
I agree wholeheartedly. We see that's very much eye to eye.
Yeah, for sure. Betting on an all-star, I bet on Bogaerts. Betting on MVP, I bet on Guerrero.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Betting on who goes down to the minors, I bet on Guerrero.
Yeah, I mean – so, I'm not sure how much love, and again, we're not really talking about like DFS or anything, but I do think Toronto's going to be one of those popular teams. They've got popular names. People love Vlad. I don't think they're falling under the radar. And personally, I think the White Sox have a better roster than the Blue Jays do.
Well, I say we hang up right now, and I'll call you right back, and we'll start talking about the AL Central.
Let's do this.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We're bored. Give us video ideas. All the things we said in the beginning, thumbs up is appreciated. We'll talk sports if you got subject for us to talk about.
This definitely gets my mind off it for at least a few minutes, which is great. And I can encourage other people to do what they like to do to get their mind off the boredom.
Exactly, because it's real, and it may not be better for a while. A lot of mixed information out there. And continue to make your best decisions on the information given. But listen to experts, not your buddy from high school.
Amen.